It's all I wanna do. Believe, believe, believe. It's all I wanna do. Believe, believe, believe. It's all I wanna do. 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 Believe, believe, believe. 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 It's all I wanna do. Do you believe that dreams, they can come true? Will you accept the apology that is long overdue? Well, I question what forever is, and I know you do too. When the answer's right in front of me, believe it's all I wanna do. You not trust you not to break. I'll students to wait. I know you not trust you not to break. I'll students to wait. Wanna oh you not trust you not to break. I'll students to wait. I wanna not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. I like a ride. Not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. Follow misguided, stand still. Discuss, discouraged. On this precious weekend and in this love for gentlemen only. Wealthiest gentlemen only. But now that you're lonely, too late, chocolate, too late, go slowly discouraged. We'll burn the pictures instead. When it's all over, we can barely discuss for 1 minute only. Not with a fortune and only. Thought it could have been something else. These days it comes and goes. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. A list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Not easily offended. Know how to let it go. From a mess to the masses. This is showtime, this is showtime, this is showtime. This is showtime, this is showtime, this is showtime. Time to show it up, time to show it up, it's time to show it up. Time to show it up, time to show it up, it's time to show it up. From a mess to the masses, a list of mania. Think less but see it grow. Like a ride, oh. Discuss.
Yo, yo, yo.
Whoa!
Officially live, first show. What's up, everybody? Welcome into Fantasy the Show. My boy Zach.
What's up?
Hanging out. And today, what are we going to do? Hit up some NFC East?
Today we're going to preview the NFC East from a fantasy perspective. We're going to talk about a little news and notes from around the league and just have a good time. So thanks to everybody who's in here, and we're excited to get started. This is fun.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support from everyone. We got people from work. We actually have some of our friends, like, kind of
Everyone
show
in
up
this
a little bit.
we probably know,
Right.
but that's cool.
All right, so other than
And
that,
I'm a bit of a Twitch noob, so this is my first time, so I'm excited to get started. This will be fun.
All right, so a little housekeeping before we officially get started. Again, we like to thank everyone for being here. Fancy the Chef over here. Joe's negative, shocker. You're talking to your moderator right now, so watch it. He might ban you. But anyway, if you're new here, if you're new to Twitch, this is your first time on here. I know a lot of people already have followed us. Thank you very much, because that supports us, and that kind of, I guess, makes us look good. And
It doesn't make us look bad.
eventually, someday, if we go for if we go to get subscribers, if we want to actually, tune in and become partnered, that's a big help. So
Yeah, please follow. That button's down there somewhere.
yeah, it's the
Again, I'm a
heart
noob,
button right
so-
below. So, but in case, again, follow us if you're here on Twitch. Also follow us on all the social media outlets. We're at Fantasy the Show everywhere. If you have questions, comments, concerns, anything else that you want to bring to our attention, anything you'd like to say, if you want to make fun of us, make fun of Zach if he looks really nervous, because I think he looks a little nervous right now.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I've
hit
played,
us up at fantasytheshow@gmail.com.
I've played the drums in front of at least 50 people before, so
I have not.
I think I'm good. I think I'm all right.
But anyway, we are here to talk fantasy. So how this is basically going to work is every Tuesday and Thursday from here until the start of the season, we are going to try to, around 7 o'clock, come live to you guys. And if anyone's actually really into fantasy prep, or if you're really not, like I guess most of you guys probably aren't.
That's kind of what we're doing here. So
Yeah,
hopefully
that's
you are.
that's the gist of the show. So come hang out. Again, like we said, today we're going to cover the NFC East. We're also going to go around the league and check some things out.
Yeah, now the training camps are starting to open, we got some news, so that helps for us because we have things to talk about. So, do you want to just get right into
Sure.
the news?
Sure. We'll eventually someday, hopefully, we'll have like a nice little transition and go, wow, news. So again, if you're paying attention, if you want to talk to us, hit us up in the chat. Other than that, we're going to probably cruise through the show. We'll look back a little bit here and there, maybe try to take some questions if we can. Whatever kind of
Blending
questions
in a
you
little
want.
bit.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't even have to really be sports related. As you can see, I'm loving baseball still, so I'm still in that mindset. But,
And I don't know if
it's
you can
football
tell
time.
what I'm loving because I'm blending into the background. just a
Zach's
little
always
bit.
blending, but it's okay.
But-
This side's looking good, so that's
Just-
what we're mostly
just
worried
look at that
about.
guy over there, and we'll be good.
Right. So basically, you're doing well. You ready? You ready to
Yeah.
roll? We're gonna get into this. All right. So recent news. If anyone's following the Josh Gordon saga and has over the past few years, John, I know if you're out there, I doubt you're out there, but John, that's one of your favorite guys. Josh Gordon will be reinstated after a 4-game suspension.
Yeah.
How much you buying him?
I'm buying them, I guess, but I think the thing that people are holding on to with Josh Gordon is the season that I believe he was the number 2 wide receiver in fantasy, playing only including missing a handful of games. That was 2013. He played 14 games, 1,646 yards, 18.9 per catch, and people have been kind of holding on to that for a while, and that was 2013. So I think it's
Melvin, my lord, someone calm that dog down. Go ahead.
Fantasy the dog is
pissed.
is freaking out. So I think a lot of people might look at this as being big. You know, it's looking like he's going to miss 4 games and be back by week 5. For me, I'm kind of tempering my expectations a little bit on Josh Gordon because, number one, how many times has he screwed up in the past? Every time you think he's ready to come back, he gets suspended again. So, I mean, it's not even a guarantee that he's reinstated at this point. He can still go out and party with Johnny Football between now and week 5 and get suspended again. But I think he's worth a late flyer. Maybe as your 4th wide receiver, I think around the point once you get it past maybe the top 30 guys, there aren't a lot of people with the upside that that Josh Gordon has.
All right, just to cut in right here, Maggie wants to know Mag Wheel 1 wants to know where Merv is. If you didn't just hear him, I'd be surprised. But he's upstairs barking at someone going by. But
He's a good 100 feet away, and I'd be surprised if you still couldn't hear him because he was freaking out.
yo, KG, you see what he's saying?
No.
My boy KG, he's buying them, but not as much as the weed he's buying right now.
Oh.
Ugh. Good joke?
I think you got to buy him at. What do you think? I think you got to buy him at some point, but.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so I'm looking at everyone in the wide receiver ranks, right?
Yeah.
And I go through and I come to Josh Gordon.
Uh-huh.
That whole team is in flux. They have been in flux, okay? He was really the only great thing that we had fantasy-wise over the past few years, really out of there, other than the last time they had a good running back, who's now crap. He used to be second, third round pick, somewhere in that range. But for me, I have no idea. I can't put numbers to it, like, in the least. John, you have the same shirt. Perfect.
See,
I could never, I just can't rely on him. I don't know about you, but I just wouldn't be able to do it. And right now, I believe he's ranked like 179. I looked in Yahoo. You know, for wide receivers, 59, somewhere in that range. I mean, that's outside of even being taken in drafts. If he stays there, cool, take him. Flyer. If he's going to be the number one on the team, if he keeps his head on straight. But I don't know if he's going to keep his head on straight.
I think that number 59 will move up pretty quick. You know, this news is still pretty fresh, and a lot of drafts probably haven't even started yet. So once we get more news on Josh Gordon, I think that'll go up. But I think he's...
John just got timed out for 600 seconds. That's
funny.
That's a real policeman way to do it. Go on.
I don't know why, but no. So I think he belongs in the 30 to 40 range out of wide receivers because, like I said, he's got the upside, but how much? There's no guarantee that you can pencil him in for 12 games this season.
Yeah, I'd say the big thing is to remember. I mean, a lot of leagues that people play in, it's going to be, you know, whether you play PPR or you don't. A lot of leagues tend to be real shiesty, real shallow. So a guy like Gordon could end up being a flyer that wins someone their league, kind of like he was in the past.
Yeah.
So, no, I wouldn't take him in the top 7, probably rounds, but he's the type of guy taken outside the top 10 could be
outside the top 30 that could be top 10.
Top 10 wide receiver. Could
yeah,
be.
absolutely.
So,
and he did it in the past with some pretty poor quarterback play as it is. So no matter what you think about Robert Griffin, his college quarterback, you know, if he chucks it up for him, I think he might be able to go up and get it. So.
Look at this. We're already getting requests for me to lose the sleeves. I mean, I'll look into that next show. I'm probably, if I can get like a sleeveless sponsor, that'd be nice.
I think it's a minor upset.
Most
that you wore
likely,
sleeves.
I'll be in those sleeves coming up soon because this light's a little bright and like it's gonna heat me up. And as we get more into it, I'll get.
I also didn't fully expect a baseball shirt on our first
baseball baby
football podcast.
Hey,
but,
if you love fantasy, I love fantasy. Maggie can attest. I talk about it every single day. Come in. If I'm having a bad week in baseball, I mean I only have 3 losses, but if I'm having a bad week in baseball, then I come in pissed. But I haven't been pissed very often because your boy Trout's the man.
But anyway, now you're just
let's not get off.
Yeah, nobody else cares about your fantasy baseball team. No offense. So let's move on to Jordy Nelson, Green Bay Packers. He missed all of 2015 with a torn ACL. He's coming back this year, but he's been placed on the active PUP list. So different from the reserve PUP list. Not guaranteed that he's going to miss any time at this point. But Jared, does this news raise any concerns for you with Jordy?
It doesn't raise concerns for me mostly because of what Jordy came out and said. He said, and I'm sure this is the way a lot of guys would talk anyway, this is what you want to hear. He said if the game were Sunday, he'd play. Mm-hmm. And so that makes me feel good. And I would say, you know, I would be really looking to see, is he gonna get out there in preseason? But I think you need to temper expectations. I don't, you know, being 31 coming off the ACL, I don't think he's gonna really be out there. As far as where I ranked him, though, I mean, I didn't show him much love. I mean, these are all projections based off of everything I do is based off of our league, which is PPR, 2 quarterback. But just as far as wide receivers go, I mean, I have Jordy around like my 26 wide receiver, and I'm sure I'm gonna give some hate for that, a little bit at least.
You know who his quarterback is, right?
Yeah, I know your boy. I know you love him a little bit, but the thing is, for me, I had a hard time really projecting more than 80 catches, 1,150 yards. The thing with Jordy is he was never a big volume guy. I think one time in his career, he really got up there with like the Brandon Marshalls and catches, and it wasn't even like he surpassed 100 catches, I don't believe. And for me, even if he is a big play guy, the way Aaron Rodgers is just an efficient guy, and you know that more than anyone, he's not up there with Stafford and Breeze, and he's not, almost 500 completions. He's nowhere near that, or 5,000 yards. He's not going to be up there. I think especially from a PPR sense of what I'm looking at, okay, maybe he moves up. Maybe he's probably top 20 in non-PPR. But for me, I don't see much more than 80, 1150, and 8 touchdowns. What do you think?
I think that's low. I mean, maybe the fact that I love Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense a little bit too much maybe gets in the way a little bit. We'll probably get into this a lot more when we do our NFC North preview, but I look at the Green Bay offense being down last year. I attribute a lot of that to Jordy being out. Right. I think they should mostly be able to go back to what they were in 2014 when Jordy had almost 100 catches and 1,500 yards. Okay,
but do you see prior to last year it was, we're on the 10-yard line, we're on the 5-yard line, 5 wide, and A-Rod throwing every time. All of a sudden last year, A-Rod isn't as efficient. And I know he's missing his boy, but do you, maybe I think 10 touchdowns is a lot. Do you think he can get many more than 8 touchdowns? I mean, they have a lot of weapons. It's just that's the way I look at it.
I mean, the last 4 seasons that he's played, 15, 7, 8, and 13. So, yeah, I don't see why not. I think the upside is there if the offense goes back to what it was for a lot of touchdowns. Obviously, you raised a lot of good concerns, but I think it was 2014. He was top 3, I think, in wide receiver points. So,
right.
And I've just seen too many of those back shoulder throws where they're on the same page. I think you tweeted it out the other day. What was it about their chemistry?
It was about
riding a bike.
It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
That's at least the way they expect to get back on the same page with each other. Again, Jordy's he's been around for a while. He's not a rookie. He's great. He's the man. I just think in a league like ours, if it's PPR, if it's half-point PPR, which a lot of leagues are really moving over to, you really have to look at, some guys with more upside. Like, do you have him over Keenan Allen? Look at Keenan Allen, on pace for 120-plus catches last year before he gets hurt. A guy like him, Eric Decker country, TDs all day. I mean, he's going to be in the same as long as Fitz comes back. He'll be in the same realm, 75, 80 catches. He might have 12 touchdowns. It's just kind of the way the offense goes. Green Bay, they just spread the ball a lot, and that's what makes me nervous in investing such an early round pick like you used to have to do.
Yeah. I still think it wouldn't surprise me at all, top 10. I'd probably take him in the top 10 of wide receivers. I think this year, if you want Jordy Nelson, he's probably going to be a second-round pick.
Yeah,
which it doesn't sound like you're going to be doing. But for me, depending on where I go, first round, say if I went a little bit more safe with my first pick, I'd think hard about Jordy Nelson. If, say, I went somebody who was a little bit scary there, it'd be tough for me to pull the trigger on Jordy's second round.
Yeah.
In that sense, because again, 31, coming off another ACL injury,
right.
Hopefully there's no re-injury, but you never know, as people say. So
moments for morning jumping in. Who's that guy? Is that a John? Is that like a 2-time league champ going back? John's already saying it sounds like he's going to steal Jordy from us. So again, that's the problem with something like this. If all your friends come and they watch your podcast, they know who you like, where you like them. But anyway, let's get past Jordy. If you guys have any, if you guys want to throw in some thoughts on Jordy, be our guest. If you want to email us, again, fantasytheshow@gmail.com. Email us. We'll get back to you next week if we can. If you're in chat, type in chat. We can talk about it a little more. But anyway, let's move on to the next subject.
And go see Jason Bourne in theaters soon, obviously.
Jason Bourne, my lord. If you are Zach and you're sitting here and you're looking at your ranks, you're going, I have A-Rod. I have Le'Veon. You keeping Le'Veon this year?
So Jared's talking about our league, which is 2-quarterback league, and
PPR. So Le'Veon's the man.
So Le'Veon Bell is been one of my keepers for the last couple years. I've kept him even when he was suspended, when hurt. But now this news about that he may have to sit out 4 games to start the season, it worries me a little bit. But at the same time, I think when he plays, he's such a difference maker that he's still. I'm finishing my rankings at this point, which should be done pretty soon. But as of what I have right now, I think I still have him about 5th out of running backs, even if he were to miss 4 games,
okay.
which also isn't a guarantee at this point because that's not official. But
okay, so who else would you be thinking about keeping if it wasn't for him? Who's even on your radar and on your team?
So
I'm just trying to get a gauge.
This gives people this could help people outside. Obviously, we're talking about just our league, but just for instance, in a PPR league, the other option for me is AJ Green probably.
Okay.
So
he's soft. I mean, we all know he's soft.
I know you don't like him, but
I loved him. I drafted him as a rookie.
He's somebody that, especially in a keeper
call.
league, where you wouldn't be surprised if AJ Green puts up the same number of stats for another 7-8 years or so.
Right.
Obviously, running backs don't have that kind of longevity typically, and especially with the suspensions, the injuries with Le'Veon Bell, it's going to be a real tough choice because even if I have Le'Veon ranked higher this year, I might be tempted to go with AJ Green because long term he might be safer.
Right.
But at the same time, when Le'Veon plays, I mean, catches passes, he's about 100 yards, almost a lock rushing. So
I hear where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. At least in a league like ours, okay, where you have to look at the future. In a league where last year, I was hot on C.J. Anderson. Okay, ended up with DeMarco Murray. That doesn't matter. I still traded to get C.J. Anderson before the year ended, or before the year started. How'd that work out for me? Every year I go into our drafts. I go, you know what? I'm going to draft running backs every time I come out, looking tight. Mm-hmm. How's that end up for me? There's a few.
Not so good.
Not so good. There's a few guys
Check
in
their
the
trophy
league,
case, and I think you'll know how it turns out.
Ask John. The guys who draft the best running back talent,
it's like the fifth John reference,
or he's the best.
He is the best.
If you have the LaDainian on the team, and he is the current LaDainian of the league, that's how you win. Fupa Tommy, thank you for following. We appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. I didn't know if you'd make it, but I appreciate it. The kids must be in bed. Love you. Here's the thing. Coming off an ACL, you could still have this guy for another couple years. I know you can get AJ Green in the first round. I don't know if Le'Veon I don't know if he makes it back to you. In a league like that. And so
if I let him go, I'm knowing for a fact I'm probably not going to get him.
Right.
Because I am picking outside the top 5, even with keepers especially. I don't know if I don't think he'll get back to you. I'd be letting him go, accepting that I probably won't get him back. But that's a decision I haven't made yet because our draft isn't today. So
Here's actually the only way I would temper my expectations maybe a little more and not get over happy. Another thing I always love to do, draft the injured guy. Moments for Morning, thank you so much for the follow.
Hey.
Yo, defending champ, that's the man right there. You guys, if he had a show, you would actually follow him because he knows a lot more than we do. Yeah. But maybe we'll have him on soon. But here's the thing about Le'Veon, and if you get a Le'Veon and you can make the playoffs, you're gonna be set.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you keep chasing these, Arian last year or whoever. Okay, Brantley in our baseball league, I took him maybe like 70th overall. Look, all of a sudden
you're saying the guys who don't have the history, they're coming off their 1 year where they're hard to rely on that they're going to do that every
I get it. I guess my bigger point is it's tough. You kind of just got to get lucky with it. But I think a bigger point too is it's actually not a bad thing. I get it if he misses 4 games, but he's also rushing himself back after an ACL. Okay, maybe those extra 4 weeks, that extra month, really helps him out, and he ends up being a better Le'Veon than he would have been if he started the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that I talked about with Jordy, where it comes a little bit of roster construction too. If you draft Le'Veon, maybe you want to go with a bit of a safer running back. You know you're not going to if this suspension holds up, you know you're not going to have him the first 4 games, so you're going to need to make sure you back him up, and you're going to need to draft D'Angelo Williams is the other thing. Even if for some reason this suspension doesn't hold up, I think D'Angelo, I don't know how you feel about handcuffs. Maybe that's something we can get into another running back handcuffs. We can get into that another show, but I think seeing what D'Angelo did when Le'Veon was out, I think me seeing it and not having him, I saw it firsthand how much you really want, because without him, D'Angelo Williams you might be ranking him top 10 each week in running backs when Le'Veon's out. That offense is just so good that I think the starting running back for the Steelers is worth a start.
Right.
For the week.
I think in a league like ours, especially where everyone's trying to just maximize the talent, I think keeping Le'Veon, you can get D'Angelo Williams at a good spot, unless you get Eddie Money. I mean, that's cool too. Eddie, I hope you're watching.
What do we got?
Bryback96, thanks for the follow, bro. Welcome to the team.
Thanks,
welcome
man.
To the squad. It's cool. Yeah. Thanks for the support, man. Anyway, so where are we at? We went on a big Le'Veon tangent.
Yeah, now I wanted to get into the Falcons a little bit. This isn't quite news. You can only believe so much of what you hear around this time of year, but
hold on. Fantasy the Chef, the first donation. We got a little donation. So look,
thanks, Fantasy the Chef.
Check that out. $10 from Fantasy the Chef. We really appreciate it. That's awesome.
I hear Fantasy the Chef makes a killer BLT.
Yeah, it might be my wife. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. She's probably gonna expect the money back, but I don't think I'm gonna give it to her. But.
So again, might be a little bit of coach speak, but the Falcons are apparently leaning towards a committee at running back a little more this year. What do you think this does to Devontae Freeman's value for 2016?
At first, it kind of scared me. You think, holy crap, the guy caught almost 80 balls last year. He was awesome. He was on pace for more than that before he slowed down the stretch. That is what ended up, I believe, scaring the coaching staff into, hey, let's maybe cut back on his workload. He's a small guy. He's a shifty small guy. He's the man. He's going to be out there catching balls. He ran really well last year, but I think, and you can ask my wife, I had her on the Tevin train before the season started. Tevin looked great, and he's a bigger guy, and he's got the long straight ahead speed. And he's the big guy where he can take a little bit of a pounding, and they can split Devontae maybe out a little more and let him just kind of catch the ball and see what he can do with it.
Yeah, I was pretty high on Tevin Coleman going into last year. That obviously didn't work out. Who knows how it would have worked out if he had stayed healthy, because he missed a week. Devontae Freeman went off, and he kind of never gave the starting role back.
Right.
So I'm not going to look into this too much. I think I expected Freeman to come down a little bit from last year.
Right.
As it is. I expected Coleman to do a little more in the offense as it is. And I think, again, what we saw, they expected one thing last year and another thing happened. So it's one thing to say this now in late July, but if Freeman gets out, he starts rolling again like he was last year, it's going to be hard for them to start taking him out of games. But the other thing is last year, as much as he started out so well and then started to decline. I think it was weeks 15 through 17. He actually won a lot of people their fantasy leagues if you look at Devontae Freeman's stats from the end of the year. So I don't think Freeman's what he was last year. I think Tevin Coleman is a handcuff for Freeman. I think I have Freeman around maybe the bottom part of my top 10, but I still think there's plenty of value with
yeah,
Freeman.
I mean, looking back at my ranks again, this is PPR, and I think it drops significantly if it's not PPR. I have him penciled in for about 900 rushing yards, okay? And probably I think his receptions are gonna go back a little bit, but
yeah, as Moments for Morning saying, Julio catches the ball in ATL.
But the thing is, he's still I understand Julio's going to catch the ball. There are a ton of completions to go around. Matt Ryan over the last 4 years was probably averaging about 415 completions. I mean, that's That's top of the league. I don't understand why he doesn't get more touchdowns, and that's why I let him go eventually. But, there's going to be the receptions to go around, and Devontae is definitely going to be the one getting them from the backfield. He's going to be a stud in PPR. I think he'll still have a lot of value, as in a non-PPR league. I have him about 9, somewhere in that range. Yeah. Again, like you kind of said,
that's
I don't
safe.
think he's going to be top 5, 6, 7, like he, looked like he would have been right after last.
No, I think that's it. And like you said, the nice thing about him is hopefully there's that. It limits his downside, his floor, when he should be catching that many passes. And even if you're not in a PPR, if he's getting those receiving yards, hopefully there's still a lot of value there. So.
Yo, shout out to Slap Happy Fish. No, I don't see a number 54 there, but it's my Conquer guy. It's old friend from Conquer. Love that guy.
I don't know anything about that.
But let's transition a little bit now over to another one of the top teams in the league. Another one that you would imagine would be in the playoffs, except for now there's news about Tom Brady. But from New England, Edelman, Deion Lewis, active pup list.
Yeah.
Do you care? Are you moving these guys around?
See, this just kind of confirms what I already thought about them, is that you have to kind of put in a little bit of injury concern with these two guys. Even before this news, I was already assuming, just based on their stats from the last couple of years and the number of games they've missed, I don't think you can expect Edelman to play 16 games. I don't think you can expect Deion Lewis to play 16 games. As good as he was last year, I think it was his first year since, 2013 that he was actually playing due to various injuries. So, yeah, it's a great story that he came back and was in the league last year. But what happened with him going down again last year? Already this news about, and we don't want to overreact to these active pup list stories, because it's the beginning of training camp. A week from now they could get activated and they're practicing like normal. But at the same time, I have to figure that both of them miss multiple games. I can't assume that any of them play much more than 12, 13 games this year, just based on past history. So that impacts my rankings quite a bit.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. These are
you going to
more...
talk about PPR?
No, I'm probably going to talk about a little bit of PPR.
Okay.
Edelman, PPR monster.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that concerns me about Edelman the most is I know New England doesn't really say much about what's going on, at least injury-wise. But he's hurt. He was hurt at the end of the year. He had foot surgery. Mm-hmm. This isn't something that just ails a guy for a little bit. He even has some rest, and he's fine. If the surgery doesn't even go well, he could still see it negatively affect his game. He's a guy. He's the old Wes Welker type. He's cutting in and out constantly. He's constantly, exploding off the ankle. It worries me a lot, and I don't think he's another guy, an older guy. They're going to rest him. You're not going to see him during the preseason. Yeah, I'm nervous he misses the first few games of the season. But another instance where I'd rather him do that than go out and re-hurt it.
That's true, but at the same time, there's so many injuries that crop up with him. I don't know if him coming back slow is really going to change much, because once the season comes, I'm still just as worried about his injuries. And then even with Deion Lewis, he's 5'8", 195, and that's what they list him at.
Right.
I'm borderline 5'8", 195, and
you're definitely
I'm not what you'd call huge. So Deion Lewis worries me. Edelman worries me. I don't know if there's much more to say. I mean, we'll obviously get into more where they fit in our rankings on Thursday when we do our AFC East preview. But I think that's about all that we can look at with that news there.
Right.
Some more news is on J.J. Watt's injury. He could reportedly be out 10 weeks. We don't know if he'll be ready for the start of the season. It looks like he might not be. Not a lot of people do the IDP, the individual defensive player leagues, so we can talk about his value with that, but also for the value of the Texans defense. How does this news impact where you would rank them, or how you feel about that defense?
I just don't care.
Okay.
Not saying that I don't care that he's hurt because it sucks, and I love JJ, and that means that their team goes down one blocked kick a week, and so that's gonna really hurt the Fupa man. But defenses in general, they're all over the place. I mean, it doesn't matter. Sure, it's gonna affect them. I don't know that it matters that much anyway because I don't know if they're towards the top of the defensive ranks as it is. They're just like any other team right in the middle where you're going to take a flyer last round and kind of do what you can do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think as far as it's more of a statement on as you said, it's probably more of a statement on fantasy defenses in general. Did we have
Mr. Chicken in the Bank? Not really sure what that name means. Sounds really fake wrestling related, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But anyway, thank you again so much for the support.
Thank
Means
you.
a lot.
Yeah. So I think it speaks more to the fantasy defenses in general, where anybody that is looking for a defense after they filled up their starters and starts looking at Houston and thinking, oh, they have J.J. Watt, I'm gonna take him early. I looked at ESPN earlier today. I don't think they've adjusted the Houston rankings based on his injury yet. They have him fourth. I think it's got to come down a little bit. I mean, they were so dominant at the end of the season last year. They basically carried that team to the playoffs. But as far as you don't know about if he's out, I wouldn't feel that comfortable about starting that defense, at least for those weeks.
But it's more, don't even want to waste time on it because to me it doesn't matter.
No, and it's more about if you're going to take them for your fantasy defense, it shouldn't be before the last couple rounds.
What it is mostly about for me is I just love JJ. Okay. That's all it is.
Okay.
Just love the guy.
You're worried about his
I'm more of an NFL fan just saying I hope the guy's on there on the field week 1. It doesn't look like it. They're saying he's probably going to miss a couple weeks or it could lead into the first couple games of the season. Maybe he starts out like Clowney instead, where he's real slow at the beginning and he picks it up. I'm sure that's how it'll be. But again, I don't really care. So anyway, with that, again, we'd like to thank everybody for being here. We're going to transition in now to the actual portion where we preview NFC East, and the first two teams up are Philly and Dallas.
We've so you want to tell them what we're kind of planned here?
Okay, so the big plan is you'll see in the background in a minute. We're going to switch on and we're going to have Madden kind of simulate in the background while we kind of go through kind of little pointers on what's happening with each of the teams, kind of the news, whatever's going on just out there on Roto-World and everything else. So we're going to go through that and we're going to let the simulation play. What we're going to do is we're going to pick a team from the beginning. Who are you going to have? You're going to take...
You're going to let me pick first?
Yeah, he has Eagles. We know this, so... I'll take Dez and the Dallas boys, I guess.
Yeah. Anyone doesn't know we're Eagles fans, so if he's gonna let me pick, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
pick
that's a real.
That's
a real
great,
slap happy fish.
Great
take.
offense.
I mean, he just loves a good Sunday NFC East game. So
exactly.
Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick sides. We're gonna let it go through. We're gonna answer questions. We're gonna talk to you guys whenever we're done. On the questions that we have, we're going to pick up the game, and we're going to see who wins. The big tweak right now, I don't know, you could try to drink every play. I don't know if you're going to make it, but...
I think I might skip drink every play. I mean,
maybe for this week we'll skip that.
This water over here is delicious, so I wouldn't mind drinking every play, but I think, we're thinking about doing some interesting rules, some fun rules to make it a little entertaining to watch. So I think what we decided on today is... The team who's winning is going to have to punt on third down. So we'll do that today. If you have any fun rules, not drink every play, feel free to comment below and let us know. But I think now is as good a time as any.
Cool.
As you see, if you're watching along right now,
Sammy B.
on Twitch, Sam Bradford, and the Eagles taking the field, we could start on the Eagles offense.
And I'll take over, I guess, for the Eagles. I ask you a couple questions, and we'll kind of see where it goes. So... The big story in camp, the big story out of camp, Eagles draft Wentz #1, sign Daniel. Looks like Daniel's going to be the backup. Wentz is going to sit on the bench. That leaves Bradford to be the starter. Do you believe him at all? Are you buying him? I mean, fantasy-wise, let's stick fantasy. I don't even want to talk about it from Eagles' standpoint, but like, are you Are you buying him from a fantasy standpoint?
Not
at
if
all?
he's going to have the Chip Kelly offense and just dump off to Josh Huff for 2 yards
Wow.
every play. But obviously, it's a new offense this year with Doug Peterson. We don't know. It remains to be seen how that's going to run. I'm really blending in here, aren't I?
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is field colored. So.
Super Gene.
So I think we don't know. Obviously, the Chip Kelly offense was more.
Chad's
high
saying
tempo.
Bradford's gonna have a sick year, and oh god, I hope so, but I don't see it, man.
Yeah. Other people noticing my hollow T-shirt. I think it looks kind of cool, actually. But we'll have to do a little adjustments there maybe eventually.
As far as your ranks go, where do you have him roughly in your quarterback ranks?
I'm not even really
third tier.
I'm not even really that interested in him in a 2 quarterback league
Really?
that we play in. You don't know if he's even going to play the whole year because if the Eagles start to struggle, will he play all 16 games? I'd say probably not. They're not going to run the level of plays that they did last year. If they run anything like with what the Chiefs ran with Doug Peterson, it's going to be more run-based. The weapons, as much as I love the Eagles, the weapons aren't great. I'm not feeling Bradford this year as a fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm with you there. 27th overall is where I have him. And the biggest reason is that we have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Doug Peterson's going to come in.
Nothing like a good Madden challenge.
Yeah. Doug Peterson, I saw the knee come down.
What about the elbow?
I don't know. I didn't see the bow.
That's a bad angle. Knee might have been in.
Awful angle. But Doug Peterson coming in, who knows what the offense could even look like?
Yeah.
Who knows if they even, who knows if, like you said, they even stick with him very long. I think there's upside in that they really don't want Wentz to play. Maybe Daniel gets a little bit of run, but I don't know. I don't know how much I even see that. He's going to be the starter at least for a while he's decently productive. But again, is it going to be a run-first team? I'm sure.
So in terms
I don't know what you know
in terms of decently productive,
Marina Christina, my girl, thank you so much for the follow.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Now, in terms of,
Tell
do you
your friends.
expect decently productive, and do you want to maybe speak to some guys that maybe you have him ranked around? Now, I assume you wouldn't take him in a 1 quarterback league, right?
No, definitely not, because in a 1 quarterback league, you're going for, you're taking a high pick. You might as well not even take another quarterback for a while, if ever, and just check out the waiver wire because they're just not owned.
Yeah.
In a 2 quarterback league like ours,
This shirt is
PPR, by the way, I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but in our league, every quarterback is owned. So, someone's going to take Bradford. And again, a lot of us are Eagles fans, so everyone's kind of in the Sammy B anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're not really in the one, but they're in the Eagles. So if he ends up being anything productive, it's fun. You get to watch your team and watch fantasy at the same time. That being said, 340 completions, 3,800 yards, low 20s in TDs. I mean, it's like, I don't know. He doesn't run. How do you really...
So, and is that
What do you do with it?
That's got to be assuming 16 games, 3,800
yeah,
yards.
all my projections are
Okay.
always 16 games. The way I
Okay.
like it. Le'Veon, 16 games.
Okay. I think that's part of the problem is that in a world where he plays 16 games, maybe even in that, I just don't see it happening.
Couple friends.
To the point where I'm probably, he might be my 3rd quarterback in a 2 quarterback league, but if
You
I'm
still don't feel good.
But if I'm in a 2 quarterback league with you,
Right.
it sounds like you'd probably take him a lot before I would.
Maybe just because Blaine Gabbert in the range, sure he was good. Doubt he even is starting. I mean, the guys in that zone, Alex Smith, cool. He'll never win you a league. I mean, sure, Sam Bradford might not either, but maybe a little more upside if he keeps the job. Anyway, enough about Bradford.
Yeah,
And
moments
we'll
for
continue
morning,
on with this awful offense.
Yeah, moments for morning, really, really quick. Madden 17 comes out in about a month, so that's when we'll have some updated,
Some actual updated, depth
teams
charts
and rosters here for
and-
right
and all
now.
that.
I think
What
we
you
can
see
move
is
on to
what
some
you
of the Eagles' weapons, and obviously one of them won't be Riley Cooper.
Right. Instead, let's talk about Jordan Matthews. I literally have no idea where to put the guy. reports out of camp or that Peterson doesn't really like him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just a tactic to say, hey, dude, step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
No idea. What do you do when you're sitting down and having to rank him? What do you do?
He's one of the harder guys for me to rank, too. I don't know if it's just because of my love for the Eagles, hoping that he'll be what he started out with in 2014, but he definitely took a step back last year. And again, I don't think we're expecting the Eagles offense to be more pass happy than it was last year. So, I mean, we don't know if he's playing slot, if he's playing outside, but based on what he did last year after a really promising first year, he was a really hard guy for me to rank too.
Yeah.
I still think, based on what he could do, he could be the number one option in this offense. You know, regardless of what I think about what this offense is going to be, the number one option in most every offense is going to be useful in fantasy. So I think he's somebody. I mean, see, that's another one that's interesting too. So for me, where we're talking about Josh Gordon, that's around the range where if I already have maybe 3 wide receivers and I'm looking at a 4th, I think the upside of Josh Gordon might be like more useful to me than somebody like Jordan Matthews, who he might take a step back up to what he was in his rookie year, but I mean, how high can you really assume that will be?
So what you're saying is you don't really know and you don't really want to find out either. My thing is, here's a little prediction.
Okay.
I think Ertz could end up having a better year than Jordan Matthews. And I know that doesn't usually happen unless you're Jordan Reed or you're Gronk, where the tight end actually, outgains or outscores the number one option. But there's a non-zero chance that Matthews doesn't even really finish as the number one receiver if the reports that Peterson isn't really that into him are true. Ertz just signed a big contract, got the big extension. He's the pass-catching tight end. Probably a little bit of slot play. They want to do a lot of double tight end sets anyway. I could see him having a year as good and maybe even better than Jordan Matthews.
Definitely. I think based on Ertz's stats, I think he's kind of due for the uptick in touchdowns. Let me pull it up here really quick. His stats for the last couple of years in terms of touchdowns. Last year he had 850 yards receiving, 75 catches, and only 2 touchdowns. I think that's really bad luck. I think that's bound to go up. And I think if we can move away from even Ertz here too, I think there's a chance for Nelson Aguilar. That's not based on anything I really saw last year because I was very disappointed in Nelson Aguilar. But first round pick last year, you got to hope that maybe, it's disappointing when so many rookies lately have been coming out and putting up big years. But if Nelson Aguilar steps up, if Ertz steps up, I think there are plenty of scenarios where you can see Jordan Matthews not being the top.
The problem is there may not be enough receptions to go around.
Well, that's the other thing too.
Offense.
That exactly. So this offense probably isn't going to allow for 3 fantasy relevant.
And I don't think Aguilar is the guy. I think it's going to be the Ertz and Matthews show. Mm-hmm. I just think it may be more the Ertz show. So KG even he chimed in and he said year 3 is a big year for wideouts.
Yep.
I mean, he's a young guy. This is the problem is the floor is really low and the ceiling right about there. The ceiling is really high for this guy. He can be awesome. I think his upside is 80-ish catches, but that could be a great 80 catches. The problem is, it's like everything else. You're taking a flyer if you take him because he could be the 50th ranked receiver.
Yeah, and as Moments for Morning saying, he doesn't play on the outside. There are plenty of number one wide receivers who
they're
play in the slot.
They're talking about him shifting to the outside. I'm sure he knows that.
Yeah, and that remains to be seen. It remains to be seen how many 2 tight end sets they run because the Chiefs did a lot of that last year. So if they go 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver, I think part of what it gets back to is what we kind of talked about off the start. We just don't know what we're going to get out of the Eagles offense. And to assume too much with any of these guys is a little risky, I would think.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, that's enough on a receiver who we don't think is even going to be top 25.
That's why it's an NFC East preview.
Other than that, I mean, what do you have? We could talk Ryan Matthews a little bit.
Yeah.
Name the starter. Everyone thinks he's going to be the starter, but a lot of word about him not really fitting the scheme, or at least what Doug Peterson wants to do. He's not the guy who's going to, like, I believe he can catch it out of the backfield, but that was one of the things they talked about with him coming out of college. But the problem is he hasn't really done it all that often because he hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, but the problem is the guys they have behind Matthews are all, again, about my size.
Ball, baby.
I don't think they're set up as much as Matthews is a little fragile, as much as Matthews is maybe not that kind of type that can take the pounding.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of has to be because they really don't have many other options behind him. I mean, they have Sproles. They drafted Wendell Smallwood. Sproles and Smallwood are both kind of the same type of guy. They're not somebody who you're going to want to give 15 or so carries to. So Matthews is going to be on the field. In that sense, it's a little surprising to me. I guess it's because of the injuries, but it's a little surprising to me how low Matthews is ranked going into this year.
And I have him low.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to move him up.
What would you say is low?
I have him 27th. Vinicius MF. Not sure what that means, but thanks for the follow. Matthews, not really. So you're not liking him? I mean, I think
we're talking about Ryan Matthews. I thought I blacked out and thought
no,
back
Ryan
to
Matthews.
Jordan Matthews.
I think there's a path in an offense where they're not going to throw it a lot and where they're just going to be running the ball. If that happens, there's a path to him getting 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns, somewhere in that range. And that's not what I'm projecting for. I have the 9 touchdowns. I have more like 950 yards.
Yeah.
I just think there's going to be a lot of I think if everyone stays healthy, there could be better guys, and there will be, but I think he could actually be a steal, and I'm probably going to move him up.
The situation is complicated based on injuries.
Yo, Vin, what's up, man?
And this offense maybe not being a juggernaut, but there aren't many teams these days where you can say this guy is going to get, for sure, the bulk of the carries, and you can get the guy probably in some drafts outside of the top 20 in running backs.
Okay, here's the last thing I'll say, and this is something that KG just brought up too. Don't sleep on Byron Marshall, which is true. There's no ties to Ryan Matthews in this from the coaching staff. Okay. They have no ties. Anything Peterson's doing is for next year, at least. Okay, and I understand Philly loves the win and all that, but because of that is why I have him ranked a little lower because. Again, non-zero chance. Probably going to happen towards the end of the year. Philly's not in it anymore. Sucks. Boo. All of a sudden, Ryan Matthews isn't back there anymore because what's the point? They got to look to the future.
And with Byron Marshall, undrafted guy who the Eagles have, I feel like I see a guy every year in camp who looks good, and there's just not a
camp
spot
MVP,
for him
baby.
Spot for him on the roster. So I've seen these guys year after year. I think Deion Lewis actually was one of those guys. 3-4 years ago. Even if he looks good in preseason, I'm probably not drafting him just based on the fact that I don't even know if it's far from a guarantee he even has a roster spot. But again, it's July. Hopefully you're doing your drafts late August, early September before the league starts, so we'll have a better sense of that. I think that about does it on the Eagles. We touched on Ertz a little bit.
Let's get to the Cowboys because there's a lot going around in the Cowboys camp.
Cowboys have the lead 3-0. By
a lot
the
of
way,
things happening.
This game. It's obviously a high-powered Eagles offense is showing off right now. But as far as the Cowboys go, I think the big off-season move came in the draft. Number 4 overall, Ezekiel Elliott, Ohio State, to the Cowboys. Everyone seems to love him, regardless of the off-field issues. We'll put that aside for now because we don't know if that's actually going to impact anything. But, I mean, some people have him. I've seen number 1 running back overall. That's crazy to me with a guy that's never played. But I'm seeing top 3, top 5. I mean, what do you think?
This is another one where I'm gonna have to let KG school me on this one, and I know he knows all about the college guys. He probably loves Zeke, but I just don't get it, man. You're talking about a first-year you're talking about a first-year guy. I know he's going to be running behind that offensive line, and all they're talking about is he better be ready for 390 carries or whatever. I have a very hard time putting him ahead of like Todd Gurley and even a guy like LaShawn McCoy, who's going to get the ball a ton as well and is an experienced guy. I know he's a little older, but I don't know. I'm not a huge Zeke guy. I don't know if it has to do with. I don't know if it's more of like this homer love and I don't like fake state, but if he's going to be going off the board as the number 3 guy, and I get it a little more in a league like ours where you can keep him forever, I don't think I'm going to end up with him.
I also don't really like him too much. I thought he was a first-round running back. I don't know about number 4 overall. Everybody that I hear who talks about him, who knows this stuff a lot better than I do, everyone seems to love him. It seems to be a consensus feeling out there. So I was down coming out on him coming out of college, but you just can't deny the situation he's in, where Dallas, the last couple of years, has probably had the best line in the league. There's been no changes, so there's no reason to think it won't still be. Last year, Darren McFadden, 4.6 yards per carry.
Oh, I get it. I remember.
Based on the offense, if they go back to the type of offense they had with DeMarco Murray, where they're really running the ball, he could not be that great. He could maybe have, like, say, 4.5 yards per carry.
Just reading chat a little bit and laughing.
Okay. No, and I think he is a 3-down back. Who knows how much McFadden and Alfred Morris cut into the carries, but like I said, as much as I maybe don't love him, if he could easily put up 4 yards per carry and maybe 15 rushes per game and still be around 1,200 yards.
See, I think the rushes per game are going to be way up,
and it can be.
Because
I realized what I just said was that Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden could cut into those carries. They're not exactly fantasy superstars.
No.
I realize that. But it's more that he is a rookie. I know what we've seen him at Ohio State. We still haven't seen him on an NFL field yet.
Here's
number
the thing.
1, number 3 overall. That I can't do that.
Here's the thing he has going for him in my mind, though. It kind of makes me want to rethink it. Jerry loves a star. He's gonna be given every opportunity to be the star.
But Jerry's
and to be
not
the
calling
man
the
there.
plays.
I get that, but Jerry's calling the shots, and that's the one big thing you have to remember. But anyway, let's move on a little bit more because there's some other guys on Dallas I want to talk about. Maybe some guys who had a rough year last year. A couple guys who might cut into some of Zeke's big upside.
Yeah, a big part of the Dallas offense is obviously Tony Romo and Des Bryant coming back, hopefully healthy from a fantasy perspective. Not hopefully if you're an Eagles fan like us. So I think again, this kind of comes back to do you have to kind of go back to that 2014 season? What are the chances that they kind of go back to what they've been when they've been at their best?
Thing is, I don't care. Dez is the man. And the problem
you don't care about Dez's injury last year? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think the injury's behind him. I think it sort of was behind him towards the end of last year. I think the big thing with Dez is... Shout
out to Terry Grawl.
Terry Grawl, she in the house, I hope? She always in the house? Love her. The big thing... the thing is with Dez, and this is what makes me kind of temper maybe some of the touchdown upside of Ezekiel Elliott, is that it doesn't matter. I know they're going to run the ball, but when they get in close, they still got to get Dez his, because if not, he's going to be a pain in the butt. Just to show you how much I love Dez, let's see where I got him.
You love Dez.
That's my 5th wide receiver overall in a PPR league.
Yeah.
Of course, PPR. My thing is, he might have 90 catches, okay, and that's a good amount. Maybe not one of the top receptions guys, but his yards per catch is awesome, especially when he's on. Coming off the year he had last year, no way he wants to do that again. He's already talking about the chip on his shoulder.
I think you got to wipe out last year.
I think he's going to be
between his injury, between Romo's injury, even when he came back. Dez wasn't Dez, which I think you held on to him for a lot of the season, hoping he would come back and be what he was.
He was dead weight. Yo, moments from morning. Your mom could run behind Dallas's line for 1,000 yards. Give me a quick prediction. I want to write it down. What do you think? And we'll keep moving, but I want to hear what you think for Zeke. And I have a weird feeling you're going to be the one grabbing him in the draft pretty early.
Yeah. So, I think it's safe to. This is kind of like with where the Green Bay offense last year, where they were down because of the Jordy injury.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have to kind of go back to 2014 and really look at what this offense can do when it's at its full strength.
Mm-hmm.
I'm maybe a little bit down on Dez, but I mean, I was thinking I was down on Dez, but down on Dez to me means like not top 2 or 3.
Right.
And when you say top 5, I mean, I think that's realistic. I mean, before last year, his previous lows for seasons were 88 catches,
He's a touchdown
1,233
guy,
yards.
He's a yards guy
and 12
he's a
touchdowns.
He's a touchdowns guy. That's why I think he's money in the bank. At least 11 touchdowns, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Money in the bank. And I think...
Shout out to Dean Ambrose.
And I think even if there aren't that many, even if they do scale it back a bunch and just run, you have to throw the ball sometime. And I think when they throw the ball, it's going to go to death. So anyway.
And I think the other thing with that is we were putting our little rundown together, and what you put with Dallas was anything else. And I think that's the thing. What else is there?
Right.
If you look at Tony Romo's, whatever you project for Tony Romo, how do you not have about half of that going to Dez?
There wasn't any shout out.
There wasn't any shout out?
There was. I shouted that out earlier while we were talking.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I do this thing. I cut you off a lot.
That's okay.
But
no matter what you think about Jason Witten, he's probably one of the oldest tight ends in the league. You got T. Willie, Terrence Williams. You got Cole Beasley. I mean, none of these guys are really going to be fantasy superstars.
Well,
I think.
Okay. Take it back a notch, okay? Real quick, just back up on something you said. Jason Witten, he's old. He was old last year, and the guy still caught what over
It's
70
Melvin.
over
It's
70
Fancy the
balls.
Dog.
Oh, fancy the dog's here, guys. He'll make a cameo at some point this season. But getting back, Jason Witten, yeah, I get he's old, but the guy just keeps catching balls, and he's going to be. I think you could pencil him in for 70. 75 catches, somewhere in that range.
But outside of PPR.
And that's going to be productive.
Yeah, but outside of PPR, I mean, what could you even
He's not a
expect
big... I know he's not a big yards guy, but, I mean, the tight ends you start to look at once you get to, like, the end of the top 10 or maybe a little past that. I mean, if you're really starting to reach... Nobody is a guarantee.
Yeah.
And at least if you have a good base, if you're waiting on tight end... I think you can do a little worse than Jason Witten. So
yeah.
Anyway,
and I'm starting to think I need to maybe pick up a controller here and take over because this Eagles offense is doing nothing without me right now.
It's looking good, but yeah. So I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna transition in. Before we transition, again, we want to thank everybody for being here. This is just the first of many podcasts. We're gonna be going 2 times a week, I guess, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's when you'll be able to catch us. Again, if you're new to Twitch and you're here and you're checking us out and first time, cool. Do us a favor, create an account, slap that follow button. That makes us look good. That gives us bigger numbers. It also helps you if you come back to Twitch, you'll be able to find us a lot quicker because it'll actually be saved in your followers. But more importantly, remember to follow us on Twitch or all the rest of the social medias. We're at Fantasy the Show. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to get in, again, what are we doing next on Thursday? We're doing
AFC East. So we got
AFC
Patriots,
East.
Jets, Bills, Dolphins. We're gonna look at.
Right. So if you have any questions regarding any of that, get them into fantasytheshow@gmail.com, and we'll throw them on the sheet, and we'll get your question answered, give you a shout out, and otherwise you can just hang out and chat and.
So up next is going to be Giants Redskins. We'll get to that in a little bit right after we finish this game up. So, Jared, you're Dallas here, so you're going to have to punt when on third down.
For sure, bro.
I'm starting on fourth down.
For sure.
At my own 20. See, this is what I worry about with Sam Bradford. I realize it's a different offense, but third quarter, 3-0 against Dallas. Obviously, we haven't gotten to see Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, long ball.
Donnie Longball.
It's your boy. I'll give you a soda drink every play. skipping leg day tomorrow. Whoop!
Who's
We got
skipping leg
crushed.
day?
That's got to be my boy Jeff in there then.
I don't know
Skipping
Jeff.
leg day.
Thanks for.
Jeff, a big shout out to Power Revolution 5, my boy Jeff from the gym. We crushed it today. Steven will be proud. I don't know if
What is it?
Steven will be happy tomorrow that Jeff's taking over. Steven's in Jamaica, maybe?
Do I have Brandon Graham going back and playing deep safety?
You sure do. Oh my God.
Doesn't
What's
matter.
wrong with this line?
It's just that was just deceptive. You thought you had.
Did you
thought
see?
you had 5 in the box?
Did you see we had someone new pop in?
I didn't.
Big Arizona fan. Fupatami was talking to him a little bit.
Okay.
Saying hello.
Cool.
Who's all in? If he's in here, I might be able to figure him out. I don't know if he's here anymore. But anyway, so what do we got?
I'm dealing with
2nd and 13. All right, I don't want to screw
dealing
up.
with issues.
Here we go. Go, baby, go! Huh!
There's one of the guys who could maybe. See, that's the problem. We've seen Terrence Williams have games here and there, but I can't think that he's somebody that you're gonna rely on.
Well, again, how many passes are there going to be? Are they going to be throwing that much?
Yeah.
And he's not Dez, you know?
No.
So, oh God.
He is not
Coach
Fourth quarter.
suggestions.
Yeah, it's 3rd down.
Oh, I'm aware, man. Goal line.
Are you aware that you're winning and it's 3rd down?
Yeah, but can I kick a field goal too?
Sure, I'll let you kick the field goal.
Crap, I don't even know where that's at. There we
That's
go.
about
special
what, a
teams.
60-yarder?
Field goal. Yeah, 60 yards. We got this.
Can you fake a field goal? Have we? Oh, I see.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, we're just going to go with it. I think he's got a garbage leg. Oh, that's not making it.
Great field position. Flag.
Flag?
It's gotta be
Yo.
holding, right?
Yo, jump off sides, please.
No way.
Please, give me something. Run into the kicker.
What?
5 yards, here we go.
I don't even think that was me. I wasn't Benny Logan.
I think I'll accept.
15 yards.
And now we are just going to run out the clock all day, bro.
I like how I'm blending in with the plays. Pick this one, or this one, or maybe this one. And I'll pick that one.
Maybe I'll celebratory squib once I score.
I hope you
No.
celebrate squib.
No, babe, that was not Steven skipping leg day. That's Jeff.
I think my controller's screwed up. My guys keep starting all the way back. Wait.
I thought this offensive line was good. What happened?
9 for 14.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, my old team's dead. Oh no.
If I was Steven, I wouldn't have told him. I would have just not shown up. Yeah, that's what Steven does. Steven shows up at work and just goes, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be at the gym today.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God, what's that garbage?
Was that Tony?
Oh,
8 for 10.
God.
He was obviously much more efficient before you picked up.
Killing me. Formations. Before I picked up. Calm down. All right, 45-yard field goal. I think we got this one.
I'm just going to play cover 2 just in case.
Just in case what? Oh, God. Oh, God. Get up.
Is that in? Oh, it's
Oh,
short.
my God.
It's short.
It's too slow. I'm used to it faster.
Yeah, what do we have on Pro?
I don't know. We're going concept.
Alright. It's 4th quarter, right?
Sure is.
4-minute offense?
Bro, you should just do yourself a favor. Punt. Punt on 3rd. I believe the first one. Huh?
I believe
Oh, no, I was wrong! Ah, crap. I was wrong. Sorry. Fupatami. Someone get George McFly.
He's saying I'm disappearing.
Yeah.
Is it too late for us to mess with that? Or am I just going to dissolve by the time this is over?
I get it. I think I could mess with it, but I don't want to. I like the way you look.
Is there anything that's better? Like,
Yeah, we can mess with it later, or you can wear better shirts.
I don't understand. I don't think it's the show.
Let's go. I got Barry.
Oh, that was a screen. I
Ah,
forgot.
crap. What happened?
I think
You
Riley
catch it?
Cooper dropped it again.
Oh, cool.
Not throwing to him.
3:02 left.
Uh,
Let's turn music up a little
shirtless. There's a recommendation for shirtless.
bit. Shirtless. Maybe no sleeves. That's about it.
That's all you get. It's a tease. That's what you call a tease in the business. Not that I'm in the business, but I hear that's what they call it.
Not after this weekend rafting with you. We went out on the river this past weekend. Your boy Power Revolution over here was there. Steven was there, and Power Revolution.
No
might
one
as
can
well-
catch a ball.
Yo, he might as well be you. He's like 3% body fat, but
Okay.
he's like more ripped.
No, I think I'm like 8% body fat.
That makes sense now, I
Perfect.
guess.
4th and 10. All my timeouts. You got to punt on third. I feel like I can punt it.
Shirtless against Twitch Guidelines? I don't think so.
I'm a noob, so I wouldn't know any better.
It's just Dahani Jones.
This song's pretty cool.
Uh-oh.
That's my coffin.
What are you doing?
That's my coffin corner.
Huh?
And then I
Yo, he's gone! Don't you block in the back. That was a clutch spin.
That's my move.
Was that Whitehead? It's my guy. No, he's terrible.
That's pretty much my main move in Madden. The 60-yard punt that travels 30 yards in the air. That's science.
It's saying we were offline. Don't get it.
My video doesn't look great over here, but
Oh no, I guess that was from maybe that was yesterday's.
but who knows?
Dude, I'm so excited for the season to start though. I've had enough of projecting and doing all that garbage and getting ready. I almost can't take it anymore. I just
Oh,
want
man.
to. Yeah.
Fill in the hole. Step and fill.
Yeah,
Step and
yeah,
fill.
yeah. I'm out. Oh god, man. All right, that looks good.
I'm loving this base versus base discussion going on right now.
It's garbage.
Oh my god, why does that keep happening? Once I start, it's fine, but it... Pump the ground up.
Oh crap! I don't know what that was.
That's pump fake, bro.
You're ahead of him! Run, you little... Killing me. God. You know the worst part about all this is I have to like physically find punt because it's like, what are you doing? Why would
Yeah.
you punt right now? That's the annoying part between that and field goals. Ah, God. 225. Just get me through this game. Get me the quick win and let's move on.
Yeah.
What do we got next? We have Giants.
Giants,
and
Redskins, we're going to talk about a
next.
little bit right after this game's over. Which should be pretty soon. Because Jared's going to pick up this third down, I have a feeling. Behind the number one offensive line in the league.
I have to punt. Just
Maybe you can fake punt. I'll allow that.
why is it like?
It doesn't want you to punt.
I know it really doesn't. Just asking me to kick a field goal. Where's the scoring, dude? We're trying over here. I got a punt on third. I don't know what he's doing.
I'm using the Eagles. Oh, we got Sproles now.
Ah, that's
Coming
a better,
back.
That's a better kick. Oh god, we have nobody. Oh god, we have no one.
Sproles!
No, give me that guy. No! Silly edge, silly edge, silly edge. Oh god.
I saw daylight. I should have probably went right.
Please pick a play, sir.
Yes.
I'm gonna flip the play.
You want to see scoring? I got scoring.
Rolando.
Where the
cool.
heck
Yo,
is Ertz? I need Ertz.
Just keep pulling this little Chip Kelly
This
crap.
is the
It's
Chip
all
Kelly
good.
offense.
And that's why we're happy he's out of here.
Oh, it's gonna be 2 in the morning. Just pick something.
I'll pick what I want to pick,
Right.
bro.
All right.
Also, I'll accept if you just want to if you want to give up, I'll accept that too. That's cool.
Why would I give up?
Oh, why not? Trust me, if it was 14-0 right now, I'd give up.
Trying to get some plays. Brian Matthews.
That's cool. Keep doing it. Keep giving to him. You know he's a fumbler.
Sure is.
All right, we're good. I like when the defense, like when the offense doesn't move, and the defense still like resets.
Oh, he didn't get that, did he?
Nope. Here we go. KG said, "Please give up." Yo, all day.
And now I'll give up. This game's over.
All right, you quitting?
You can
Official?
run out the clock. You can run out the clock.
That's right. Official resignation.
Yeah, I think.
All right.
I think you're up 1-0. Hey, we got a tip.
We did. The original tip was Fancy the Chef, $10. No message at all. Again, no, that's just Moobot letting everybody know. But again, if anyone does for some reason tip, you can leave a little note. That's another way to ask a question or at least get it to pop up and come to our attention. FYI, but you don't really have to tip. Not a big deal.
NBD.
All right, so the next thing we're going to get to is we are going
Giants,
to
Redskins.
hit Giants Redskins. But again, before that, everyone, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I know it's been a while. We're going on an hour and a half. But
Thanks, Steelers, for pointing that out.
If you've come late, if you're still here, you come late, you want to know what happened in the beginning, just remember you can check us out on YouTube. We'll be posting everything after the game. We'll be cutting it up, posting it, getting rid of some of this garbage, I guess. We'll be also uploading it to iTunes, right?
Yeah, sure.
And what else? I guess again,
well, we got our email address. It's fantasytheshow@gmail.com. If you have any questions, for instance, Thursday's show is going to be an AFC East preview. Obviously, we're doing an NFC East today. If you're just tuning in, we're about to get the Giants Redskins. So if you have any questions about anybody in the AFC East, you can email us at fantasytheshow@gmail.com. If you have comments, feedback, anything, we'd love to hear it. So
yeah, I mean, it'd be great. Like, I know this is awesome. Like, everyone's talking in chat. Hopefully, we can kind of keep that going. But a great way to get at least a shout out, question answered. Again, like he said, fantasytheshow@gmail.com. That way we can actually write you into the script of the show. It just makes it kind of a little easier to get your question in there if you actually do have questions. But yeah, I know. Steelers 85-36, left guy.
Yeah, I'm not
clear shirt.
I'm not.
I don't know what
exactly
his.
salty about it.
It's a little bit better now.
It's
I'm
more
not
that
really. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with your shirts anymore.
We've done some tests in every shirt that I wear.
This is like what your third your third, fourth shirt maybe.
3 out of 3 for blending in.
Originally, the best part was what did you wear? A bunch of stripes. You had gray and purple, and it just didn't really the camera didn't really love it.
So my gray blended in last time, and now this looks blue, but this actually is gray. Yeah, see, that's even worse when I have my hand up. So, I don't know.
You just got to do this. Wear a tight shirt like this. You feel good. You look good.
This is tight.
I don't mean tight, like tight on you. I mean tight like it looks sweet.
Oh.
I mean, that's okay, I guess.
Shirt's
but
cool.
we'll see what the people think. Yo, you like my shirt? You like his shirt better? I'm not really sure, but anyway.
You have a baseball shirt on.
A
We're
baseball
doing a football
shirt's
show.
great. But fantasy baseball is all year round, man. Anyway, let's get into a little Giants, maybe a little Redskins. Where do you want to start? You want to start little Giants? Again, pick my pick first. I'm gonna go with Odell. You know I love.
I'll be the Redskins.
You want to be the Redskins for this
Yeah.
one? Can't wait to hear your take on the running back sitch.
For the Redskins?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
All right, man. Well,
do you want to talk Giants first?
we can start with Giants again. We're gonna play it out in the end. Don't feel like you guys have to stay if it gets a little boring.
No,
but,
you gotta stay.
But so far in the
This
year,
is not gonna be boring.
killing it 1-0. But as far as
And you have to stay.
So we pick teams, rules.
Switch over with this guy.
Switch over.
Yeah, why not?
Fine.
I want to see.
Talk about that garbage.
They just missed Deshaun on the screen.
Deshaun.
So
I hate Deshaun this year and every year because he's not PPR friendly.
I get it. Want to start? Want to start Giants?
Giants, sure. All right. So Eli, the man. Bryback loves him. Bowie loves him. Fupa, Slap Happy Fish, number 54, loves him. How you feeling on Eli this year, coming off a career high in touchdowns? Has my boy. Can he do it again? I mean, is he now creeping up in the like top 6, top 5 quarterbacks for you? What do you think?
I kind of love Eli Manning.
Oh my God!
And it was also really weird writing down just Manning. I didn't have to put E Manning because now he's.
I know. I searched in
that
Roto.
That was a little weird.
I searched in Roto, and that was odd for me.
They changed offensive coordinators 2 years ago. He started throwing a ton more. I don't see why he can't repeat his numbers from last year. Not a whole lot should change. I mean, he's got Odell Beckham. That's the main part. Some of the wide receivers changed. We'll get into maybe them. Maybe we'll obviously talk about the running backs too. But as far as efficiency-wise, as far as number of attempts, last year he had a career high with 618 attempts. Year before, 601, and again, that coincided with the offensive coordinator change. They've been a little bit more up-tempo, high-paced offense. I don't see why we can't pencil in Eli for the stats he had last year, which put him around. I have him number 6 out of quarterbacks, which I should add that after about the top 5, and I can run through my top 5 if you want, but after those guys, I think 6 through about 13 are all pretty similar. So not that I would reach for Eli if you're gonna be one of those people who waits on quarterbacks. You see him right off the bat, 40-yard pass to Ruben Randall, who's now on the Eagles.
That's right.
So obviously he won't have that, but I really like Eli Manning this year, and I hate saying that out loud, and I've now said it twice, so that's the last time I'm going to say it.
I guess I do too. And again, there's another bad thing about having everyone that we play with actually watch the show. I kind of like him a lot. And it's weird. I don't know that you're going to actually be able to get Eli like you could the last couple of years. Great value. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially in a one-quarterback league, not typically drafted in the top 10, but it seems like more often than not he does put up numbers in that range. He was a flip-flopper, I guess, for a little bit.
He was a flip-flopper?
Here's the one thing. He's not one of those guys, and even last year in this new style offense where they're flinging it, he still isn't completing 400 balls, 415, 430 balls. Mm-hmm. There are going to be great completions with guys like Odell on the outside. I'm not really sure about, the rookie contributors this year and the other guys there. Maybe KG can kind of talk a little bit more about what else they have there. But
I'll do my best.
I do like Eli a lot. Do I think I'll get him there? Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to have to fight you for him.
His shirt's getting worse. Ooh, maybe if I look at this. This is kind of better. I'm too big.
It's a little bit better.
I think let's see about where Eli is going right now.
Here's where I see Eli. Okay, I have Eli like 9. Somehow that's ahead of Ben Roethlisberger in my ranks.
And right now it looks like he's going around 10th out of quarterbacks. He's right behind guys like Carson Palmer, Blake Bortles, right in front of Philip Rivers, and Derek Carr, who we talked about earlier, was Tony Romo, and we'll get to Kirk Cousins in a bit too. He's 14 right now, where an ADP wise.
You've already said the guy he reminds me of. Last year, I went into our draft, 2 quarterbacks going, don't care, not keeping any. The big guy I wanted to get, Carson Palmer. That's who he reminds me of going into this year. Mm-hmm. Maybe there is that little bit of upside, but Carson did everything Carson did last year. He didn't go over 400 completions, I don't believe. He was still, less than that. So again, if you have a big arm, if you're going to stretch the field, which it sounds like they want to, word out campus, they're doing a lot more throwing downfield because last year they were in the bottom of the league throwing downfield. Maybe this is. Last year was his career year. Maybe this is his next career year. I mean, better than last year. It could be. It really honestly could be.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you look at the weapons. I mean, obviously, there's Odell Beckham, who, I mean, what is there to really say about Odell Beckham? I mean, the conversation with him maybe even just gets into how high do you take him in the first round. But I think the weapons around Eli, if you're a fan of Sterling Shepard, the rookie, obviously they got the tight ends. They got Will Tye, who looks like he might be the starter. And it's more of just the rate at which they're going to throw. There you see a touchdown to Ruben Randall. Again, they lost him, so I don't know if I expect anything from Victor Cruz, but I think it's more the offense, where it doesn't matter who else is the guy that day catching touchdowns.
Right.
But he's just going to be throwing it. And as we can talk about in a bit, are they going to be running it? Because I don't know if the running backs really are the way this offense is going to be going.
Okay, well, so we love Eli. Okay, we're established on that. Everyone knows now. We have him high.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love QB1 all day.
Yeah,
QB1 all day.
Absolutely. And
so,
but as I said, I wouldn't be surprised. Those guys maybe like in my like 6 to 12, 6 to 13 around there, all pretty close. So in a one quarterback league, if I don't get some of those top guys, I'm probably going to wait forever. 2 quarterback league, once there starts to be a run on guys, I'm going to probably want to try to get Eli Manning if he's there.
Okay, so we love Eli. Let's transition away from that a little bit. Something you talked about, the running back situation there. Anyone you like or trust? Because there's been some value in the past. The problem is health.
Yeah. The guy that I find interesting is Paul Perkins. He's the rookie. Just because I went back and looked when I was actually looking, trying to figure out what I kind of thought Sterling Shepard might do, the rookie wide receiver. I tried to look at sort of what other receivers for the Giants did last year, and their number 2 receiver was Shane Vereen.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with Vereen, his role in this offense, if he's even on the team by the time the season starts. If Paul Perkins comes out and has that Shane Vereen role, as you mentioned with injury, Rashad Jennings maybe not. There's a risk of him missing time. If Paul Perkins can kind of step in, 5'11", 210 pounds from UCLA. If he can step in and get a decent amount of carries in a very what we expect, obviously from what we're talking about, to be a very productive offense, and if he can even fill in with those catches too, I think he's somebody that is going really late in drafts, who I think could be. Obviously, we talked about Elliott in terms of rookie running backs. Obviously, you're not going to take him anywhere near there, but later in drafts, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Paul Perkins and seeing.
So a guy that could have upside-ish in the range of, maybe not in the range of Zeke, but top 20. Do you think he could get there?
Because of what I think he can do in the receiving, I think even more so in PPR, he can be a top 20 running back. But he's a guy that you're not going to have to take anywhere near that. And I'm not taking Rashad Jennings. I think the upside. I don't think the upside's there. I don't know if he plays 16 games. I don't see how you're going to, at the end of this year, say, I won my league because I drafted Rashad Jennings. I don't see it.
Here's the scenario, I think.
Oh, my God. Kirk Cousins with a 6-spin move.
Love it.
Oh, man.
Here's the way in which I see you saying, hey, I won my league because I have Rashad Jennings. You go into the draft going, I don't know what to do. You know what? I'm not going to trust running backs. You wait. I think you can do worse than Rashad Jennings. Remember, he's a great pass catcher too. He's also a guy who doesn't have a lot of tread on his tires. So if he ends up coming in and he's pretty healthy, I think he could actually be pretty decent. I have him roughly in the top 20 range, kind of by, like the DeMarco Murrays. Maybe I feel a little better about Murray, but you know what? You really don't know. It's Tennessee. I mean, to me, Rashad Jennings has at least some upside. He'll be on the field. He did it last year. He had catches when he was on the field. Again, Vereen's going to be there to be like the multi-purpose guy on the backfield. Yeah. I think for at least, unless something crazy happens, I think at least unless there's an injury, I think Jennings could be or will end up being the main running back there, and he's been very, very productive.
He'll get the most carries. I think he'll get the most carries. It's just a matter of how much do they mix in Perkins, where it might be a situation where both of them being involved really doesn't help fantasy. Where it's hard to predict from week to week. You mentioned Vereen again. I'm not I'm not 100% sure he's gonna still be on the team because him and Perkins might sort of have that same role.
Yo,
kind of like Smallwood.
J.K. Roethling, what's up, man?
It's kind of like Sproles and Wendell Smallwood, what we talked about a little bit, where they have a really similar role. So he's interesting. And to be honest, you might not win your league because you draft Jennings, but it might be more that you go wide receiver heavy at the beginning.
Right.
Your wide receivers are studs every week, and you don't even care who you have at running back. And if Jennings has these weeks where, again, good offense, there's going to be chances for touchdowns. So if there's a week where Jennings is, even like 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, that's going to help you win a week.
I think Jennings has top 15 upside. Is that fair?
That's a little higher than I'd go.
That's where I think the problem is his floor is 50. But
and that top 15 upside is just a lot of other guys get hurt and he plays 16 games probably is what
there's another guy you talked about on Shane Vereen. Looking at last year what Theo Riddick did in the range of like almost 80 receptions. Do you think there's any way with like another year under his belt in the offense, the way they really do like to kind of throw it to the running back, spread it out? Can Vereen be kind of like a Theo Riddick light and like somebody who you can actually feel decent about taking as like a running back flyer in a PPR league? Again,
I think it's something that we got to look at it in training camp to see if Perkins cuts into that, because if he doesn't, then I like Vereen to step in. I obviously, maybe not what he was on New England, but he was a pass catcher there. He was a pass catcher last year. There's going to be somebody out of that backfield because of the lack of weapons at wide receiver.
Right.
I mean, we'll see. Again, they spread the ball around a lot, but you could see a running back again being their number 2 receiver, so to speak. And whether that's Perkins, whether that's Vereen, I think that's something to definitely monitor in training camp of how they start to use those two.
You're moving, bro.
See who they start looking for.
And your boyfriend's getting the ball.
I might actually be playing from ahead.
Ugh.
Oh, look at him.
All right, so we
talked
talked
to go, and he goes up and that's a little.
I don't even want to give him the time of day.
Life, but
so we talked about running backs a little bit. Receivers, again, it's Odell, and it's whoever wants to step up. I don't think you'll know before the season. Are you excited at all about anything else? Fantasy the dog needs to shut up.
Not that I'm super excited about Sterling Shepard, but I think in a PPR he could be a little more interesting.
Right. Well, again, there's gonna be balls to go around.
Oh no! So much for that. That looks like it might be
go 6.
Oh my god!
You want to give up yet?
No.
You want to give? I didn't see it. He may have stepped out. I don't think so. Though.
I don't think he stepped out. I'll probably give up eventually.
I think we're gonna go long show, and then with 2 minutes left, we'll get in there. But anyway,
Cousins. I think Sterling Shepard's a sleeper. I think I'm not going to call him Jarvis Landry, but I think he could have that kind of role with the offense.
Jarvis is Studley, right?
Where absolutely, but I think it's something where obviously Beckham's going to be getting double teams, so we'll see those first couple weeks where
Melvin is right.
We'll see those first couple weeks where to see how they're using Shepard, but I think he's, especially in a PPR, I think he's worth somebody. Or if you're getting points for catches, even a half point for a catch, I think he's somebody that should be. Again, we like the offense. Somebody's going to be catching passes out there. I think Shepard, even if he's not really getting the touchdowns and the yards, I think he's going to be relatively safe because he should be catching the passes.
All right. Well, again, nothing we're going to know right now. I guess that's something to monitor during preseason. Maybe that's a point at which preseason tells you something. He's running with the ones. Well, he should be running with the ones. Okay, well let's see what his hands look like. Let's see if he's actually comfortable.
I don't want to just hear from the coach. I like him. I want to actually see that he's on the field practicing with the number ones. I want to hopefully see some preseason. Especially these rookie guys like Shepard, like Perkins. I want to see what they actually look like on the field with NFL players, even if they are, in later in preseason games and it's backups. I got to see them on the field before I really feel comfortable with making any kind of statement about the roles, because really we don't know. We're guessing at this point. So
what about Victor Cruz?
No.
Nothing?
No.
But have you seen him on Ballers?
Don't care.
You haven't seen Ballers?
I've seen Ballers.
Ballers is good.
I don't really like Ballers.
You don't like Ballers?
Yeah, hot take. I don't really like Ballers.
Bro, what do you got against Ballers?
It's okay. I watch it when it's on. I love The Rock.
Is season 2 on yet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It started.
I like to let it finish out and then we eventually jump on to season 2.
Do you like Terrell Suggs?
No, but
Do you like that people call him Sizzle?
man, don't tell me.
That's
that.
I'm not. That's not.
Don't
I'm not giving much of
spoil it. Don't
That's not a
spoil it a little
spoiler.
bit.
That's
Okay.
not a spoiler.
Here's a question for you. I forget the guy's name. The DN from last season, he took forever to sign his contract.
Yeah.
Did he not look like Ryan Howard so much
Yeah,
to you?
I
Yo,
see.
big shout out to Ryan Howard for sure.
He's obviously watching right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
get
That's what he picked too.
all day. Are you giving up yet? Because we can just go back to the
this
main,
might as well
the
be as
main
good
screen.
a time as any to get into the Redskins and Kirk Cousins. Now that he's thrown 2 picks in this game that we're watching.
I don't even
here.
want to watch anymore. You want to watch?
I mean, it could be good for fantasy.
All right.
He's going to be chucking it up in the second half.
We can watch.
But so Kirk Cousins last year, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He's playing on his franchise tag. He's kind of betting on himself this year. Was last year sort of a mirage? Is this what we can expect from Kirk Cousins this year? What do you think?
Originally, I kind of thought, it was kind of a fluke, and maybe, he's got to regress. 379 completions last year. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot more than anyone thought he was going to have at that point. What you realize, especially going down the stretch, and especially when Jordan Reed's on the field,
Oh, yeah.
they throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Now, they want to run the ball, and I'm pretty sure it was
can
just
they?
the fact that Matt Jones sucked.
Oh, there's a pick by Eli now.
It's fine. We're up 14. We're spotting you 14, but
See that 2-minute offense.
okay, he's not in like the Eli echelon, and he's not in like that top tier or like those, that major top 10, 12 tier. But I don't know. I could see him sneaking up into that range. He's gonna have to complete more balls. I have him back to maybe in the 350 range. 4,000 yards roughly, 30 TDs, somewhere in that range. But he was also really efficient.
Yeah.
I think playing for his life is going to kind of help him go all out. He's got that sense of, oh crap, I better play, I better do well, or I may not get the contract. And with the weapons around them, they could be a good passing offense.
Yes. I think I'm maybe a little lower than you on the touchdowns. I think I might even be a little higher though on the yards because they might have to throw a lot depending on how this defense is. Well, that's another thing too. We might have to see how if this defense takes a step up with Josh Norman now. We'll see how much they're maybe they're throwing the ball. But
hey, Cam had Josh Norman last year, and Cam was slinging all day.
Absolutely. But
they were one of the best.
He's
the
Cam.
best defenses in the league. They were slinging.
And I don't
all
hate
day.
Cousins. I actually have Cousins number 8.
Oh wow!
Out of quarterbacks, but I think you might get a little bit of rushing from him. He had a bunch of rushing touchdowns last year.
Right.
If they're not effective running the ball, he might just keep it himself more. I mean, what was it? 5 touchdowns last year that Cousins had. Do you have that up?
I think no, I just minimized it, but anyway, yeah, the guy who likes to run. We saw it earlier.
5 rushing touchdowns last year. I don't know if that's repeatable.
And how many yards did he have again?
Not a lot. That's the funny thing about
exactly.
it.
That's
26 attempts, 48 yards.
You
5
say
touchdowns.
that, and I look back at my ranks. I go, hold on, let me pull this up because I have them penciled in for like
another
50 to 100 yards and another pick. That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to take him.
Last year.
I think it'll take him. I think he'll be good. I don't think he'll be, hey, why don't we trade Aaron Rodgers and try to ride Kirk Cousins and move up or something like that. I don't think it's going to be that good. I think maybe next year's his year, depending on, if the guys stay healthy, if the wide receiving core looks as good as, they once were. They're not the youngest guys ever, you know what I mean?
Well, they did draft Josh Dodson. He actually, as a mediocre college football viewer that I am,
very mediocre.
Josh Dodson was actually one of my favorite wide receivers coming out. They drafted him in the first round.
I don't prep a lot.
I don't know if this is really the year for Dodson because they still have Garcon, they still have Reed, they still have Deshaun. So I think there's just a lot to go around. It's more that I think all of that's going to help Kirk Cousins to,
right.
No matter what you think about his skill set, I think the weapons are decent enough. You have Deshaun,
right.
it's going to, no matter what you think about Deshaun Jackson in terms of maybe a PPR league, number of catches he gets. If he's just a deep,
Hate him.
if he's just a deep guy, he's going to stretch the field. He's gonna make the offense run better.
Right.
And we saw that with Philly. We saw it last year when he played with the Redskins. It might not show up on the stat sheet, but you have to respect his speed still. So I think that's so. Again, I think I have Kirk Cousins 8, but I think
That's a lot higher than I would.
But at
I
the
get
same
it.
time, if you told me you had him 14, 15, I wouldn't argue it too much because I don't think there's a lot of difference between him
Right.
and guys like
That's
Rivers,
exactly what I was
Romo, Bortles.
I like Rivers a bit more, but again, I think the big thing is, I think it's possible. Last year was like about his upside. He's not
that's
going to
fair.
go out sling it 450 times for 5,000 yards. That's not really in the cards for him. Where that is in the cards, a guy like Stafford could jump all the way up, and all of a sudden he could have a crazy year,
Yeah.
and he could be a top 5 quarterback again. I mean, he's done it in the past.
Yeah.
I know you don't have Megatron anymore, but
No, I have
you know what I'm
Stafford.
saying? I think there's some regression to come
Uh-huh.
for your boy. And I don't know. All those touchdowns, I don't think the rushing touchdowns really happen anymore. And actually, I think I'm talking myself out of them even more. I think it makes sense. I have them about middle of the pack. I think that's where
Yeah,
I'll finish.
but as far as the rushing touchdown, I think this is as good a time as any to get into the running backs.
Right, sure.
I don't think, based on last year, it doesn't seem like Matt Jones is really getting a lot of love. That we talked about Alfred Morris. He's in Dallas now, so he's gone. Matt Jones looks like he's going to be the guy. Do you like him?
I don't love him. I mean,
That's a Joe answer. If I ever heard it.
exactly. To me, he doesn't offer a lot. He says, he wants to catch the ball. He wants to be 3 down. He was god awful last year when everyone loved him on a yards per carry basis.
Yeah, 3.4 yards per
Just
carry.
in general, I mean, sure, he basically stayed on the field, but he just never really looked good when he did. I have him penciled in for roughly 850 yards, somewhere in that range, 5 touchdowns, 6. You got to remember, when they hit the red zone, it's Jordan Reed time. They're throwing. They're not running. They're trying to
or
rush.
Kirk Cousins time.
Or Kirk Cousins time, exactly. I mean, he's like baby Cam Newton with like 10 times less yards.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's to me, there's upside, but he's another one of those guys you might as well throw a dart.
Yeah, if you're gonna wait, I actually kind of like. We talked about maybe having one quarterback, and just keeping that. If I'm gonna wait on quarterbacks, I might take 2, because I might just play the matchups at that point. Especially because there's still gonna be some solid guys out there. Where
Larry,
there's the.
and that's also something we didn't talk about, the tight end situation in New York. But we can get back to that.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, Matt Jones. I think it's hard to really. It's hard to explain because there's times where I watch Matt Jones where I think
he looks good.
looks really good, and then you look at the numbers and think, what happened? 3.4 yards per carry is horrible, and even if you project him up to maybe 4 yards a carry, he better be getting 25 carries a game if he's going to even be useful, and also getting the goal line carries.
Right.
And like you said, they don't seem to be a team that throws when they're in the red zone. So I'm not somebody who I think in any leagues will own Matt Jones. Despite what I said about liking the Redskins offense, you might be thinking, oh well, you might like some of the Giants running backs because you like the Giants offense. It's just based on the usage last year. I'm not feeling it with Matt
Right.
Jones.
Here's a funny stat. Like for his low yards per carry. Excuse me. Any guess on what his long rush of the year was? If you didn't see it already,
Who's that? Matt
Matt Jones. What was the longest rush he had last year?
Now that you say that, I want to go low, but I'll say 14.
78 yards. He had a 78-yard run last year.
Okay.
And his
And he
average
still had
ended there. So
I thought you were trying to say that he never had a long run.
no.
But that's even worse.
So it's odd. So it's almost like.
So
Is
beyond
it possible
that
that he just got unlucky a little bit? I don't know. Or
how do you get? I mean, do you get on that unlucky for a full season? Is the problem? And even if you get on, as I said, even if you get that unlucky for a full season, are you going to bump him up from 3.4 to yards per carry to what 4.5? It's hard to say. I can't imagine owning Matt Jones in any
Here's
league.
the scenario in which Matt Jones becomes, a big win for you.
Double-digit touchdowns.
Not even just that. If he gets 250 carries, if he's the only guy, because, who knows? He could end up being the only guy. He's doing everything right. They're loving him right now in the offseason. It's the offseason. But he gets 250 carries. He gets 4.1 yards to carry. All of a sudden, he's over 1,000 yards. Even if he gets 7, 8 touchdowns, whatever, all of a sudden he tacks on 30 receptions because he can do that. I have him listed for 30, so he must have projected out decently well. That happens, he all of a sudden, he could be a top 15, 18 guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the upside is that great, but he could get there. Matt Jones or Ryan Matthews for the year, who do you think?
Ryan Matthews.
Really?
Especially, I was about to be a genius and say especially when Ryan Matthews is on the field, but obviously you would like Ryan Matthews more when he's on the field if rather than somebody who, I'm not into the Matt Jones. As much as Ryan Matthews might miss time when he does play, I think he's got much more upside than a Matt Jones.
We got some Matt Jones love here. G homie.
Yeah, I read chat.
Sitting here calling Matt Jones the GOAT. I don't know what he's been watching, but hey, we'll see. Matt Jones, you know what? If he finishes top 15, that would be awesome. And he could, And if George 26 SV's had like 26 saves, that'd be sick. If we're getting back to baseball a little bit. Mm-hmm. Thanks for the follow, man. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm moving off of Matt Jones because I'm not that interested.
I think I like Matt Jones maybe a little more than Ryan Matthews. I think Matt Jones has the job, right, where Ryan Matthews is kind of up in the air, questionable. I think they're close. I think the ceiling for Matt Jones is way higher. Beckham Jr., the man. Shout out for my boy. We haven't talked about him much because he's great.
Yeah, there's not much to say. If you've watched in the last 2 years, all you have to do is watch him. You don't even have to watch him. Just look at the numbers. There's no reason to think he can't be what he was last year. I think we can move on from that though, and maybe now obviously we talked a little bit about their options at receiver. Jordan Reed, who's somebody, if he's healthy, obviously he's going to be a stud at tight end. What do you think about the Redskins' weapons?
I think he makes me nervous.
If Kirk Cousins can actually put it in their hands, unlike in this Madden game.
I think they have some pretty amazing guys. I think Jordan Reed showed exactly what everyone projected him for last year and the year before. I know I had him very high going into last year. I didn't think that high. Now this year going forward, is there another tight end you want other than Gronk? Is there anyone else you would want other than Gronk?
No, it's easy to make the case for Jordan Reed.
Exactly.
Just look at what he did when he was healthy last year with Cousins. As you said,
G homie in the chat writing, Cam Newton first overall. Would you do it? I think Fupa would tell him.
I really like Cam Newton over all other quarterbacks this year.
Boy.
You can tune in for our NFC South preview. You can check our
website
for our schedule and our fantasy or our social media pages to see when we're going to do the NFC South because I don't have that in front of me right now.
Yeah, man. Do yourself a favor if you actually scroll down. This is kind of a good spot to talk about some of this. If you're on the Twitch and you're checking out the page, and you're on the channel, scroll down. You'll actually see when we're going to run through each of the divisions. So that'll give you a good idea on like when we're kind of doing what. Thursday we're gonna have another show. We're gonna try to go Tuesday and Thursday for the rest of the preseason. We may switch up the schedule a little after that, but we'll figure it out. We'll kind of make it work. So that's when I guess we'll have more about Cam Newton. But yeah, number one quarterback. I don't think it would be close if Tom Brady was in it. But anyway, back to Washington.
If that person was talking about number one overall,
my guy
overall, I as I talked about, once you get past top 5, it's very deep at that point. So, probably not number one overall. But anyway, I love Jordan Reed. I think he's worth an early pick. Depends on how early you mean overall. You can say what you want about him ranking among tight ends, but where are you going to take him in a draft? Like, you might have to take him third round.
Thanks, Robo.
Is that to the point where
I don't know. I've been
comfortable?
burned in the past by taking tight ends early and not taking tight ends early, like when I don't take Gronk and he falls to me like 8th overall. But the thing is, it's the injury thing. I mean, that's the big thing with Jordan. If he can stay on the field, he's the man, and he's awesome. Jordan Reed or Greg Olsen? I mean, who do you take there? Do you go Olsen because you're scared and you don't want to miss games, and Olsen plays 16 games?
He was so good last year. Again, this is something we can get into more in the NFC South show, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with Olsen now that Kelvin Benjamin's back in the offense.
Right.
But I owned Olsen in a lot of leagues last year, and it really paid off. So it's hard to say no to Olsen, but I mean, just how good Jordan Reed was last year, it's tough.
Right.
I think I'd lean Reed because I think what you're gonna get if Reed misses time.
G Homie, thanks for the follow, man. Hope you come back.
Homie.
Appreciate it.
As far as any other receivers, I feel like you gotta let me talk about Deshaun for a little bit.
Go ahead, man.
Give me
I'll sit
some
back.
room.
You can have it.
So obviously, no longer number 10, number 11.
Rail's a sub-only feature. Love this guy.
So I think if Deshaun stays healthy, which isn't a guarantee. Last year he had 17.7 yards per catch. Say he gets 4 catches a game, which isn't crazy. 4 catches a game.
He's not getting 4 catches outside the Chip Kelly offense like he did then, and he had a great year. I don't think the problem with him.
4.
Stay healthy, stay on the field, man.
Okay.
Quit showboating.
Okay.
How about you get in the gym?
If I could talk about
Sure, go ahead,
Deshaun.
man.
4 catches a game.
I get it. Cool.
If he does it. I'm saying if he does it. I'm not
Right.
saying he's going to do it. I'm not saying he's going to
So
catch
give him 65 catches.
You want to give him 65 catches
give
of what he
him-
did?
Give
Yeah.
him 65 catches. I don't care. J.K. Raffling, 69.
Okay, so 65 catches.
Thanks for the follow, bro.
Thanks, JK. Um,
I'll catch you on Sundays, maybe.
that's 1,100 plus yards. And again, if they're going to be throwing in the red zone, Deshaun's not the best red zone target, but anybody who's going to put up that many yards and probably is going around, 25, 30 range in terms of,
Right.
of wide receivers. In a regular league, I know you've been talking about PPR a decent amount. I obviously have to put him lower in PPR because he's not going to be
Right.
a target monster. He's more the guy that you're hoping he busts one deep. I don't see. I think he's their best receiving option in terms of what just wide receiver. Jordan Reed, just in terms of overall production,
Right.
might be better. But I think Deshaun easily has 1,300 yard upside.
13. Okay, upside.
Upside. If everything breaks right, if he plays every game, if he doesn't have any hamstring problems this year, I can see that happening. And maybe that's me being a homer and just being a Deshaun lover.
Here's the problem with that. He's not getting the 1,300 yards if he's not catching 80 balls or 75 balls, and he's not catching 75 balls. He's 60 to 65 if he's lucky, and that equates to, even with his high upside, that equates.
So maybe 1,200 upside. And 1,200 yards is a lot.
Okay, but hear me out. 60 catches, even at like a high clip, that equates to maybe 1,100 yards if he gets really lucky. How many touchdowns is he gonna have? 7, 6, 7. You know what that makes him? That makes him Allen Hurns. And I get that he has more
Allen Hurns
upside,
was great last year.
and I get that, but I don't know. Like, I don't PPR, not PPR. No, thank you. Don't talk to me. I don't care.
No,
I don't like him anyway. I don't want him.
And if somebody in your league isn't going to look at that and understand that the rules of PPR and take
No,
them
and
too
I
early,
get that.
Yeah, then you don't want him. But I mean, last year he had 4 touchdowns in 9 games, so why not 7, 8 touchdowns?
I get it. I guess I still see him as third tier, even no matter what. The days of him,
I think he's a third wide receiver.
with the crazy upside, I think are over. Personally, but again, I just don't,
It's
I
maybe
don't
not
like the guy
crazy
that much.
upside, but I think there's a lot of guys around that point where you're going to take Deshaun Jackson, where they don't have the upside of a Deshaun Jackson,
Right.
where he could go, he could win you your week, and maybe you're going to look a little more safe around then, but no, I think Deshaun Jackson, where he's going right now, is a good value, especially if Kirk Cousins does around what he does last year.
I guess where he's going, I don't see the big
where
time
he's
upside.
going, exactly.
So. Anyway, that's something we disagree on. We can come back and talk about that more. More things I guess we'll have to talk about. Maybe get into that next time is the tight end situation in New York. Maybe by next show we'll actually know a little bit more about that. That'll probably be in the rundown for the beginning of the show. Other than that, not really much else on Washington, right? So, that's cool. Would you like to give up on this? I think I'll take the second win in a row. So
can we really even give you that win when I didn't play it down?
That's fine, man. So put me 2-0 on the season. So we're not even going to finish out the game. So anyway, we'll wrap up for today. Again, if you like the show, if you're here, if you're watching us on Twitch, slap the follow button, hit the little heart, slap it if you want. It'll make it easier for you guys to find us when you get back. If you do want to watch us anymore. And it makes us look good. It helps us out a little bit. I guess Thursday, what are we previewing again on Thursday?
AFC East on Thursday. So
AFC
Patriots, Jets, Bills, Dolphins. There's a lot to talk to about. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the Patriots today.
Thanks,
we're gonna get into
Power Revolution. Finally.
Yeah, and I'm sure even in the next couple days there'll be a lot of news now the training camps are starting.
Right.
So we'll get into some news there. We'll go into AFC East. Hopefully the team I pick in Madden won't just completely get blown out.
2-0 so far.
Pick up a controller.
2-0 so far.
I'm
gonna take it.
You're
man.
gonna take credit when I haven't even picked up a controller. I'm not even going to because I kind of got to pee, and we're gonna have to sign off soon. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, comments,
blipped. Anyway,
hit us up at fantasytheshow@gmail.com. And that's all we got. So for Jared, Zach, thanks for watching our first show.
Yeah, first ever. It was a long one. 2 hours and 6 minutes. Just look. They're clapping for us. Thank you.
And I didn't think it would go this long, but it kind of did. Thanks for the love, Power Revolution, and we'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, again, remember, if you haven't already done it, you can check us out on all social media at Fantasy the Show. You can get your questions in, especially for the AFC East on Thursday. East. So get your questions in, the Fantasy Show at gmail.com. Check out our website, fantasytheshow.com, for more information. Check out the Twitter. I'll be posting, liking stuff. I'm up all night checking stuff out. So anyway,
tell your friends.
Tell your friends, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.